Kamala Harris, again, she's not officially the Democratic nominee for president, though it's heading in that direction. And she's got to make a decision on who would be her vice president. What could that look like? Stirewalt here to break it all down. Chris?
Are you a white dude from a battleground state? Maybe you could be Kamala Harris's running mate. Maybe it's you if you're out there. Okay, so this is a big deal for Harris because it sends a message to her party, but it also sends a message in the general election about what kind of president she would be. And what we typically look for in a running mate is what? Somebody to shore up a weak spot. Donald Trump chose JD Vance because he thought he could. He was ahead in the polls, he was leading, so he didn't go to expand, he didn't go to balance out, he went to double down and reinforce, which can work. Bill Clinton picked Al Gore, and that worked out just fine for them. But I want to go through what the namers of names, the talkers of talk here in Washington, where the conventional wisdom is, and maybe what's a little different. So first, let's start with, if we're talking about white dudes in swing states, here's the biggest swing state of them all, the most important one, Pennsylvania. Governor Josh Shapiro, he's a moderate Democrat in a crucial swing state. He would be the first Jewish national candidate elected nationwide. That's a big deal at a time where Republicans are poaching Jewish voters from Democrats. That's significant in Pennsylvania. And he's quite popular. He's a lot more popular in Pennsylvania than Biden is. Disadvantages? 2 years as governor. The anti-Israel activists in the Democratic base were going to be a huge problem for the party in Chicago, potentially. They do not like him and his staunch support for Israel, and he's got no foreign policy experience. Okay, what about the next one? Now, this is the one. This is the guy that I think is the one to watch. I think that if the smart money is on Roy Cooper, governor of North Carolina. He has won repeatedly in North Carolina, 6 times statewide. He's term limited, so you're not giving anything up, right? You're not vacating a seat that Democrats then have to replace. He is very popular compared to Joe Biden in that state, so that's all good for him. Downside, nobody knows who Roy Cooper is, which is kind of okay because he's just like a generic politician. He's some dude. But the downside is he doesn't bring any foreign policy experience to Harris, who really needs it. As Blake pointed out, her first trip to Europe came after she was vice president. She's not exactly that. So how do you fix that? How about Mark Kelly? Oh, there you go. Swing state, Arizona, super important. Yes. He's won twice there. Yes. But he's a veteran, combat veteran, astronaut. He's a guy that speaks to national security, and he comes from that state. Downsides, he's only been in the Senate for a term. He hasn't really done much there, but getting reelected was more than enough to satisfy Republicans. Then there's a question about a Senate seat in a competitive state. There'd be a Democratic appointment, but there'd be a cost. Now, I tell you what she ought to do. What she won't do, but what she ought to do. She ought to pick Admiral William McRaven, retired Admiral William McRaven, former head of the special operations that took out bin Laden. After he left the military, he went to be the chancellor in the University of Texas system. I call it the Cheney effect. Question about Kamala Harris is she steady? Is she ready? Will she kill bad guys? Dick Cheney did that for George W. Bush. William McRaven, who was discussed as a possible running mate for Hillary Clinton in 2016, would be a great choice for Kamala Harris.
Stirewalt breaks it down. So real quick, the one that you want is?
I'm with Chris, actually. I think the North Carolina governor makes a lot of sense. Someone who has won in a red state successfully and could put that state in play for the Democrats.
And if she did that, that would change. That would be, and I think it's not in play right now, but if Roy Cooper could put him in.
And like you said, it doesn't cost us anything as Democrats. We're not losing a sitting governor, a sitting senator in a competitive seat. Like that's key.
The one you don't want as a Republican is?
We have about a dozen or so pathways to 270. Kamala has 0 that don't include Pennsylvania, where she's losing badly.
Okay, so that's a reference, I guess, to Josh Shapiro. The timeline here, Kelly, real quick. Yeah. We don't know.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of when she's going to pick.
No clue.
No, this is completely unscripted moment. We are just going day by day.
Why are you not telling us, Kelly? You know, but you won't tell us.
Thank you for watching, and make sure you go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.